The dust devils danced across the parched earth, mocking Jedediah Thorne as he knelt beside the crumpled form of Silas Blackwood. Silas, the town's self-proclaimed medicine man, lay still, his painted face pale against the ochre ground. Jedediah, Copper Canyon's newest deputy, tasted grit and despair. He's been on the job just 2 weeks, and already the territory was teaching him harsh lessons. He ain't breathin', deputy, grunted Hank Billings, the town's blacksmith and unofficial first responder. Hank's voice was low, coated with the resignation of a man who's seen too much death. Jedediah pressed a hand against Silas's throat, confirming Hank's assessment. Silas hadn't been shot, stabbed, or beaten. There were no obvious wounds. Just stillness. Poison, likely, Jedediah said, his voice raspy. He's heard whispers about Silas's remedies, potent mixtures of desert herbs and other things. Things best left unexamined. Sheriff Brody, a man carved from granite and silence, arrived, his spurs jingling a mournful rhythm. He surveyed the scene with cold, assessing eyes. Find who did this, Thorne. Blackwood may have been a charlatan and a cheat, but taking a man's life is still a crime. Jedediah nodded, the weight of the territory settling heavier on his shoulders. Silas Blackwood had been a fixture in Copper Canyon, a source of both fascination and suspicion. He's hawked his remedies to settlers and miners alike, promising cures for everything from consumption to lovesickness. Few trusted him, but desperation often overruled caution in a place as unforgiving as the Arizona territory. The investigation started predictably. Jedediah questioned the usual suspects, disgruntled miners who felt cheated by Silas's treatments, rival healers peddling their own concoctions, and even Mrs. Abernathy, whose prize-winning hen had mysteriously perished after Silas recommended a growth tonic. Each offered a motive, but no one confessed. As Jedediah dug deeper, he unearthed a tangled web of secrets. Silas hadn't just been a medicine man. He was a collector. He dealt in rare herbs, ancient artifacts, and whispers of forgotten lore. He's rumored to have traded with the Yavapai people, a relationship that had earned him the distrust of many in Copper Canyon. One name kept surfacing: Mateo Vargas, a taciturn prospector who's been Silas's occasional partner in Silas's more clandestine dealings. Vargas had a reputation for being as ruthless as he was cunning, and Jedediah suspected he knew more than he was letting on. Finding Vargas wasn't difficult. He lived in a ramshackle cabin nestled in the shadow of the Mogollon Rim, far from the prying eyes of Copper Canyon. Vargas initially denied any involvement in Silas's death, but Jedediah sensed his nervousness. The prospector's hands trembled as he poured himself a cup of bitter coffee. Silas and I had disagreements, Vargas admitted, avoiding Jedediah's gaze. He wanted something I wasn't willing to give him. What was that? Jedediah pressed. Vargas hesitated, then glanced towards the weathered wooden box sitting in the corner of the cabin. An Apache death mask. Belonged to Cochise himself. Silas wanted to buy it. Said it would fetch a fortune in cent. Louis. Jedediah knew the legend. Cochise, the legendary Apache leader, had disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of resistance and mystery. His death mask would be a prize beyond measure. Did you sell it to him? Jedediah asked. No, Vargas said firmly. It's too valuable. It belongs to the Yavapai people. Jedediah's suspicion deepened. Vargas was hiding something. He searched the cabin, finding nothing but dusty tools and empty mining claims. As he turned to leave, he noticed a faint, floral scent lingering in the air, a scent he recognized. What kind of herbs are you using, Vargas? Jedediah asked. Vargas's face paled. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. Jedediah recognized the scent of nightshade, mixed with a rare desert blossom called ghost flower, a potent combination known to cause paralysis and eventual death. Silas Blackwood had been poisoned, and Vargas had the knowledge and the means to do it. But something didn't quite add up. Vargas was a man of action, not subtlety. He would have confronted Silas, not poisoned him with a flower that bloomed only under the full moon. Jedediah returned to Copper Canyon, his mind churning. He questioned Mrs. Abernathy again, the woman whose hen had perished after Silas's tonic. She's mentioned a young woman who often visited Silas's tent, a woman who kept to herself and spoke in hushed tones. Her name is Elara, Mrs. Abernathy whispered. She's different, like she's not quite of this world. Elara, the name echoed in Jedediah's mind. He tracked her down to a small shack on the outskirts of town, a place overgrown with desert wildflowers. As he approached, he heard singing, a haunting melody that seemed to drift on the wind. He found Elara tending to a garden of rare desert plants. She turned to face him, her eyes as dark and mysterious as the night sky. You're investigating Silas's death, she said, her voice soft and melodic. Did you have anything to do with it? Jedediah asked, his hand resting on the butt of his revolver. Elara smiled, a knowing, almost sad expression. Silas was a thief. He stole something that belonged to my people, a sacred relay, a symbol of our connection to the land. What was it? Jedediah asked. The breath of the earth, Elara said. A stone that holds the spirit of the desert. Silas planned to sell it to a collector in Philadelphia. Jedediah understood now. Silas hadn't just been dealing in herbs and artifacts. He's been profiting from the desecration of Yavapai sacred sites. Did you poison him? Jedediah asked. Elara nodded slowly. He wouldn't return it. He claimed it was his property now. She paused. I used a nightshade and ghost flower mixture. A common enough poison, easily obtained. Jedediah looked at her, seeing not malice, but a fierce determination to protect her heritage. He knew he should arrest her, but he also understood her motives. Silas had been exploiting and desecrating Yavapai sacred grounds for years. The stone, Jedediah said. Where is it? Elara led him to a hidden chamber beneath her shack. There, nestled amongst ancient pottery and faded tapestries, lay the breath of the earth, a smooth, grey stone pulsating with a faint, ethereal light. As Jedediah looked at the stone, he felt a strange connection to the land, a sense of belonging he's never experienced before. He knew he couldn't take Elara. Not now. Not when the territory was on the brink of war with the Yavapai, a war fueled by greed and misunderstanding. He turned and walked away, leaving Elara to her vigil. As he rode back to Copper Canyon, he knew he's made a decision that would haunt him. He's let a murderer go free, but in doing so, he's bought himself some time. Time to understand the true meaning of justice in the Arizona territory. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the desert. Jedediah knew his troubles were far from over. He's a deputy in a town on the edge of a wilderness, caught between the law of man and the laws of the land, and he suspected that the breath of the earth was only the beginning of a much larger, more dangerous story.